Hey everybody, welcome to episode 15 of Fitness and Money, Maximizing Your Health and Wealth. This is going to be our last bicep exercise. It's going to be our last upper body exercise. We've gone through back, chest, shoulders, triceps. In the previous two episodes, we did biceps, and now we're going to finish off with what we call preacher curls today. Now, in the previous two episodes, we did concentration curls first, and that's a very isolated type of exercise where you can't move your body around at all. The second exercise we did was alternate seated dumbbell curls. That is more of a shaping and size building movement depending on the repetition range that you use as well as the weight. And today we're going to do an exercise you often, very often see many people doing in the gym, preacher bench curls. There's a specific way that you have to do these in order to get a benefit from it, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And as always, I'll do it incorrectly the first way, and then I'll do it correctly next. This exercise is going to work the long part of your bicep. And when I say long part of your bicep, I'm talking about right here, as opposed to concentration curls, which will work a little bit more height on your bicep as opposed to length. That's just the way the movement is. So if you have a dumbbell, kettlebell, whatever piece of equipment you have, I'm going to use my power block as I've always been doing, and we'll show you how to do that right now. So you're going to need some type of a bench or some type of a chair or something that you can get an angle on. The angle isn't super important, but you do have to have some type of an angle. It can't be flat and it can't be completely at a 90-degree angle. So we're gonna have the bench about like this, and then we're going to lay our arm on the bench. And you want to make sure that your tricep muscle is completely rested on the bench, chair, piece of furniture, whatever you're using to get this, to simulate this motion. Your tricep has to be completely on it. You're going to start right up here, kind of in a completely vertical position, and you're going to lower the dumbbell down. Now, what we don't want to do is you'll see a lot of people that will completely go down as such and then bring the weight back up. They'll go down all the way and bring the weight back up. We don't want to do that because you can hyperextend your elbow, and hyperextending your elbow feels like tennis elbow, and it's not fun. It takes a long time to heal, so we want to make sure we don't do that. The other thing that you'll see is people, like almost every exercise that we've been doing throughout the weeks, they'll use a weight that is just flat out too heavy. So what they'll do is they'll have the weight down and they'll go like this. They'll start jerking the weight up, using your neck, using your shoulders, getting your back into it. That's absolutely something we don't want to do. You also don't want to find yourself, you'll see a lot of people in the gym leaning way forward like this so they can try to get an optimal amount to be able to hoist the weight up. It's just not necessary to do that. If you position your body, and it's like this with a lot of exercises, if you position your body just nice and rigid here at the top, keep your torso nice and rigid. You don't want to involve your torso at all. You just want to involve the arm. So the way to do it correctly is we're going to start in that same position and we're going to go down, but we're only going to go down. We're not going to lock our elbow out. So we're going to go down to this position. We're going to come back up. And as you can see, I'm not moving my torso all around. You want to go down and you want to come back up. So if I'm going to do it sideways here, and this is just to show you, we do not want you locking your elbow out. What we want to do is we want to leave it about here so that you're not locking that elbow out. You'll keep some nice stress on the muscle and bring it back up. Now, much like the other two bicep exercises that we did, here's another one where you can come down and you can come up and you can twist your wrist outward. Again, when you twist your wrist outward, and we did this on the other two exercises, especially concentration curls, when you come up and you twist your wrist outward, you're basically putting a lot of pressure on your bicep, and it's called supination, and that's something that we talked about previously. So again, we go down, not all the way, we come up and we turn. We go down, not all the way, we come up and we turn. So that's basically how to do a preacher curl. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about relative to the fitness portion is we've been spending a lot of time on doing the individual exercises, and a lot of you are probably saying, can't we just get to it? Can't we just get to the workout? Why can't I just say, do this, and we're done? As I said before, we certainly could do that. I would rather not do that, because when we do get into the workouts, if you've been watching the videos and if you've been practicing each exercise, you're going to be at a huge advantage, because again, I maintain that doing exercises in the correct form will get you to the end result quicker than any other way, quicker than jerking the weight up, quicker than just using some random form that you watch somebody else do that uses all kinds of stabilizer muscles. And when you're doing your arms, stabilizer muscles could be your shoulders, it could be your back, it could be your chest. It's any muscle that's helping you get the weight up, any muscle that you're using that you shouldn't be using that's helping you get the weight up. Again, you just want to concentrate, when you're working your arms, they're very small muscles. You just want to concentrate on them. So enough said there. So what we're going to talk about financially, we're going to hit maybe 3 different topics. One of them is, and again, those of you who watch the stock market might understand some of this. If you don't watch the stock market, it's just good information to know anyways. Cyclical versus secular stocks. So cyclical stocks, you can think of as stocks that will go like this over time. The best example of cyclical stocks are probably semiconductors. So, the big thing now, as this is filming, and it's April 29th, the big thing now is artificial intelligence. Everybody is talking about artificial intelligence. You have Chat GPT, you got Microsoft getting in on it, you got Google getting in on it. Of course, there's a company called NVIDIA, which makes the fastest and best chips for artificial intelligence. So semiconductor chips are very cyclical, because what will happen is foundries and plants will build up excesses of chips. And during those times, they need to work off that inventory. Semiconductors are not probably going to be great investments. They might be flat, they might be down. Now, when the economy is going gangbusters, people are buying PCs, and when you think about it, chips are used in everything. They're used in autos, they're even used in farm equipment, big industrial equipment. Think like bulldozers from Caterpillar or big machinery from John Deere Company. Everything is going automated, even McDonald's with their French fry picking machines. So everything uses chips. So when the economy is super, super strong, semiconductors are great. When the economy is weakening, semiconductors can be slow. Now, as we know, on a more global basis, the economy right now is slowing, and that's by design. The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, which ultimately slows the economy. And when I say that, I mean slowing demand from consumers. Consumers are getting tapped out. They can't get loans without crazy interest rates. Prices are crazy because inflation is sticky. We know that when we go to the supermarket. We know that when we go to the clothing store. We know that when we go to the gas station. Pretty much everywhere, we still see inflation hitting our pockets. So that being said, secular stocks are different than cyclical. They will work almost in any environment. Any stock is going to work better in a booming economy. But even in a slowing economy, secular stocks can work well. And I'll give you an example of some secular stocks. That would be global trends that are happening. Like right now, there's a big push from going from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles. Everything is EV. We have mandates. We have to have a certain amount of vehicles that are electric on the road by a certain time frame. So that's a secular trend. That trend is not going to go away. So, if you're looking at things like companies that are making or investing in charging stations, that's something that would be called secular because there's a very long window to make that happen. Sometimes defense stocks can even look at being somewhat secular depending on what's going on in the world. They used to be cyclical, but they can be somewhat secular, and that would be companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing and Raytheon and different companies like that. So that's a difference. Cyclical stocks can be boom and bust. Boom and bust. Secular stocks will be more even, and they should have a slow or even sometimes a fast trajectory up, depending on what type of industry is being invested in. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is, and sometimes you'll hear this, is a broken company versus a broken stock. A broken company is a company that has had something fundamentally change with it. Something so terrible has happened to the company. That could be a significant management change. That could be a major lawsuit. There's some things that are going on right now in the banking industry based on bank fallouts, bank closures, bankruptcies, things like that. There's one right now that's being worked through called First National Bank. Those unfortunately are broken companies at this point. Now, sometimes a broken stock will go down, but broken stocks sometimes, and I've mentioned this before, it's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And what that means is there's algorithms that work in the stock market, and they key buy and sell signals actually off of words that happen, or certain, whether it be the Federal Reserve or just certain analysts that are saying certain things, the algorithms will kick in based on some of those things being said. I'm going to give you a good example. So whenever retail earning comes out, retail earnings are anything from Gap to Abercrombie and Fitch to Walmart to Target. Those are retail stocks. Sometimes if those stocks report bad earnings, they go down. Obviously, if they haven't met the earnings estimates, they go down. Now, there's other stocks, just because they're merged in with the retail sector, that will also go down, but they're going down for the wrong reason. They're strong companies, good fundamentals, good cash flows. Maybe they have dividends. And two that I can think of right now would be TJX. TJX owns Marshalls. And obviously, you've gone to TJX stores. Those are beneficiaries right now of what's going on with the economic slowdown, because people are trading down. They're no longer going to the big box stores, some of the designer retail stores. A lot of that merchandise is actually ending up at TJX. So people are going there. And of course, we all know that TJX, if you've been in one, is kind of like a treasure hunt because they have new inventory all the time. And it's a lot of fun to actually shop there. The other big one is Costco. So Costco may be the most well-run retailer that there is. They are constantly putting up good numbers. They're beating their numbers. They've got a super, super strong following. All you have to do is go by a Costco and you'll see cars lined up and people lined up in lines buying their things in bulk. So if a stock like Macy's reports on a given day and their stock goes down, Costco might go down, TJX might go down, and that's simply based on the fact that they're all grouped in this retail sector. The algorithms kick in and say, oh, we got to sell everything retail, and boom. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. The Costcos and the TJXs that shouldn't be thrown out with the other retailers that might not be doing as well. So just in case you do tune in, you hear things like that, just wanted to make sure that you were aware of kind of what that all means. One more quick thing I'm going to talk about is, and people tend to not understand this, the way the stock market works is you have to have, for every person, company, hedge fund, mutual fund that wants to buy a stock, any given stock, there has to be a seller on the other side of that sells that stock. You know, not everyone can be buying the stock. There has to be sellers and buyers in order. That's what makes a stock market. That's why sometimes stocks go down, there's more sellers. And that's why sometimes stocks go up, because there's more buyers. So the people that are betting that stocks will go down and they actually want stocks to go down, those people are doing what's called short selling. And short selling, and I won't go into the intricacies of how you initiate a short sell, but basically you're betting that a given stock is going to go down. You make money when the stock goes down, and we'll get into the details some other vlog. However, most of us, I think all of us, should be long holders of stock. We buy stock, we hold it, we manage it, make sure that nothing fundamentally has changed with the companies or the mutual funds. So we're long holders of stock. And again, since nobody can really pinpoint the low of a stock or the high of a stock, when you have money available, you just start buying the stock. And we talked about buying it in what's called tranches, which is basically grouping it up into buying in different segments. We don't throw everything into one stock all at once because you're kind of market timing at that point. So what we try to do is maybe put a quarter of that money in, see what's going on. This goes for mutual funds too. Put a quarter of the money in, and if the market goes down, that's not a bad thing for long-term investors because, again, and this is super important, when a stock goes down or mutual funds go down, you're buying more shares of that stock or mutual fund, which is exactly what you want to do. The stock goes down, you buy more shares, and then when the stock recovers, which it ultimately will, your portfolio size is going to be bigger because you bought more shares of that stock. So hopefully you guys got something out of that. Again, we're at episode 15. Next week, we're going to head right into lower body. We're going to get through that pretty quick. And then we're going to put the workouts together and we'll just keep on building from there. So hope everybody has a great day. If you like, please do. If you want to subscribe, please do that as well. Again, I want to point out that by subscribing, you'll be able to see all 15 videos and you can either parse through them as you want, or if you're new to the club, you can go back and you can pick them all out and just watch them in sequence. So hope you have a great day. See you next time.